We all go through professional challenges. You didn't get on the project you wanted to get on, or you didn't make the cut for the high potential program you wanted to get in, or you got passed over for a promotion. That's tough. You feel like I failed, I lost. This idea of losing, of winning or losing, that is the prevailing thinking. But that's not how Jalen Hurts, the NFL quarterback, sees it. He and his team lost the Super Bowl this last week, just in the last final minutes after an outstanding performance. Talk about disappointing. And you know what he said afterwards? Right afterwards, he said, "You either win or you learn." That's so different from you either win or you lose. You either win or you learn. And he went right on to lay out what he does. He has a 3-point plan. And his first piece is process. You got to have a process you go through. You don't just deal with it, let it hit you, and just let it land and push you around where it does. You have a process. Secondly, you reflect. And third, he said, it's about then the next steps. What is that plan going forward? And that's what ultimately makes him a winner, and why we're probably going to hear a lot more about him and from him in the future. And he knows what he's talking about. He had a record breaking freshman and sophomore year for the Alabama Crimson Tide. He was the starting quarterback, and then he had some trouble in some championships, a lost championship and an almost lost one, and he was cut from the starting lineup. So he's talking about, again, disappointment. He knows what he's talking about, and he's someone to listen to. Let's look at his 3 recommendations and his plan for what he does when he doesn't win, but instead he learns. What's his learning plan? First, he has a process. What's your process for when you lose out on something or when you have a challenge that is really frustrating? The first part of your process has got to be mental reframing. For Jalen Hurts, he could look at it like, oh, we lost, but he doesn't. He looks at it like, we learned. We're going to learn here, and we're going to take that learning and use it to mobilize us and use it as leverage for the next time we get out there, and we're going to create that win. In his perspective, there's really no loss if you're learning. There's no true loss if you're learning, because you can take that learning and you can turn it into something great for the future. Second, if you get passed over for promotion, take a note from Jalen Hurts and reflect. You either win or you learn. That philosophy says, I've got to reflect. Learning comes from reflection. So you're going to think through. You're really going to take a look at step back and take a good objective look at yourself and at your performance. And then you're going to go on and you're going to get some information, not just from yourself, your own self-reflection, but from others. Go to people who are going to give you the straight scoop, give you really true information, and hold up the mirror and show you what they're thinking and show you what they're seeing and show you what they're observing. So you can get a full picture of yourself, and you're really going on a treasure hunt and looking for what is something that I could potentially do that would give me information about making it better for next time. And most people do not do this. Most people don't reflect. They deflect. They deflect to, well, it was because this person did this or that person did that, or I wasn't given the resources that I needed. They deflect away from themselves, and therefore there's no learning. And you know what that becomes? That becomes the definition of insanity, because if there's no learning, you're going to keep doing the same stuff. And that's the definition of insanity, doing the same things over and over and expecting different results. But when you reflect, you get around that, you learn what you need to, so you can do something differently. So you're going to ask yourself, what happened? Where did I go off course? And if you're in the NFL, you're going to be looking at the films. If you're in a company, you're going to look at, okay, so what was it that was something that maybe it was a skill thing, maybe it was a knowledge thing, maybe it was just an action. If it's a skill, maybe you need to learn a software program, or you need to brush up your presentation skills. If it's knowledge, maybe you need some more industry knowledge or product knowledge, or knowledge about the customer or the competitive landscape. Or maybe it's just an action you're not taking. Maybe it was lost out on something. Maybe it's because you're not marketing yourself enough internally and you need to be working on some of your internal relationships and your networking, and you need to be out there appropriately advertising yourself. So might be any of those, but to just, again, go on the hunt and find out the information you need so you know what was missing. Third, if you lose out on something at work, a project, a promotion, some kind of opportunity, make a plan. Jalen Hurts knows what it's like to lose a Super Bowl. We all know what it's like to lose out on certain things at work. But it doesn't end there. He says you either win or you learn. And part of learning is taking that learning then and putting it into action, taking some next steps and making a plan, executing on it. Make this your new project. Most people don't do that. Most people just stay moping or they stay mad. I coached a finance manager who was not moving up as quickly as she wanted to, and she got some feedback that she did not like, and she was just angry, and she stayed in that anger. And she stayed in that anger. She wasted a lot of time until she started seeing, maybe there actually is something to that feedback. She really saw that. She ultimately did move forward, but not until she wasted all that time. Other people will move forward, but they'll move forward with no plan. They'll move forward vaguely, and vague actions tend to yield vague results. So make a plan. Make a four-step plan. Number one, set a goal. Where do you want to get? Secondly, actions. What are the actions that need to happen that you need to take reaching up to and out to that goal? Third, schedule them. And fourth, take those actions. And then you're going to measure along the way and stay really close to your progress. Don't wait till the end to measure. That's going to be too late. You win or you learn. Operationalize that. Really make it work for you. Have a process, reflect, and then make a plan. Execute on that plan. You know, sometimes our greatest losses become the best thing that ever happened to us. They can turn into our greatest wins, what we learned, and then where it took us. So if you've had a loss at work, take a note from Jalen Hurts. There's another season around the corner. There always is. So don't miss it. You either win or you learn.